Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us on your Friday. I'm Sophie Erber. Police tonight have identified the two people found dead inside a Sioux City home on Thursday. We have the latest on that case that's now being called a homicide in our top story at 5. 52-year-old Kelly L. Socknat and 60-year-old Nicholas R. Socknat were found deceased in their home on Mulberry Street. It was after police were called there for a welfare check around 8:30 yesterday morning. Sergeant Jeremy McClure confirms the Socknats were married and lived together. An official determination by the state's medical examiner is still pending tonight, but McClure says evidence at that scene indicates Nicholas might have been responsible for Kelly's death and that he died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Governor Kristi Noem and the state of South Dakota are suing the National Park Service tonight over the fireworks display at Mount Rushmore. Noem wants the display scheduled for this July to go on as planned. In March, the Park Service denied the state's request. The regional director says he is concerned about the safety of both the park and its employees. Supporters say it generates millions of dollars in publicity for the state of South Dakota. The Biden administration says it has successfully reduced the number of kids in Border Patrol custody by 80% since last month. But KCAU 9's Washington correspondent Alexandra Limon reports on why progressives and conservatives are still critical despite progress in some areas.
Amnesty International USA says it's troubled by some of President Biden's immigration policies.
There have been some positive signs in some areas, but we're also very troubled on a number of fronts.
Executive Director Paul O'Brien says the president isn't doing enough to roll back Trump administration policies, like how many refugees the country allows.
All these numbers are lower than the United States used to welcome.
Amnesty International is also unhappy with the continued use of for-profit immigration detention centers and of a Trump-era rule used to deny asylum because of the pandemic.
Biden administration is still using it, so they do not get certainly a thumbs up from us.
On Biden's 100th day in office, Amnesty launched a petition that Americans can sign to show the administration they want the country to be more welcoming. President Biden also faces pressure to deal with the millions of undocumented immigrants already in the U.S.
Let's end our exhausting war of immigration.
He's urging Congress to pass comprehensive immigration reform.
If you believe we need to secure the border, pass it because it has a lot of money for high-tech border security.
But Republican Senator John Cornyn says an immigration deal will be difficult due to the situation at the border.
Until this crisis is addressed, it's not easy for us. In fact, I think it's impossible for us to find common ground.
In Washington, Alexandra Limon, KCAU 9 News.
Here in Siouxland, 13 groups of students presented PSA videos on skincare awareness today for the Sioux City Career Academics Health Science class. Now, each project was 30 seconds long and was presented in hopes of bringing awareness to how easy it is to prevent the disease and also how important it is to wear your sunscreen.
Skin cancer and melanoma are one of the top cancer diagnoses that we see in our tri-state region. And unfortunately, the numbers are actually going up.
The winner of this skin cancer PSA contest will have their project aired right here on KCAU 9 News. The students say they hope that their videos highlight how easy it is to stay safe, and if detected early, the 5-year survival rate for melanoma is 99%. A longtime Sioux City businessman and community leader now has a street named in his honor. Today, Vine Avenue gained the alias Bob Rowe Way. Bob Rowe, owner of Bob Rowe's Point After, was presented with the sign this morning outside his Pizza Sports Bar. He says the recognition is an honor and thanked his family, friends, and employees. To celebrate Arbor Day, Sioux City officials planted a tree at Carlin Park. It was also the official opening of a new playground there. The London Plane tree was also dedicated to Sioux City's sister city, Gilan, Kosovo, with members in attendance. The playground was originally scheduled to open to the public last year, but the pandemic shifted those initial plans.
This playground was partially installed last fall. We picked out the tree theme, and we have finally opened it. It's the playground surfacing is in. It's a safety recycled rubber mulch, and we'd like everybody to come check it out.
This type of tree can stand up to 60 feet tall when it's fully grown. And it's time tonight for our first check on the weather. Meteorologist Marcus Beasley standing by. Marcus, not a bad day to be out planting a tree on this Arbor Day. In fact, it was pretty perfect.
That's right, Sophie. Just an absolutely amazing day outside with sunshine all day long. We had light winds out there, so not a whole lot of wind to battle with here throughout the day today. And very warm temperatures. Temperatures today reaching in the upper 70s to low 80s throughout Siouxland. A high temperature of 79 in Sioux City today, 81 in Norfolk, 76 in Yankton, a high of 77 in Lamar, 71 in Spencer, and 73 in Storm Lake. So pretty much everyone seeing some type of 70-degree temperature today. Forecast lows overnight tonight. They will drop down into 50s to around 56 degrees in Sioux City, 59 in Norfolk, 59 in Yankton, Cherokee, and Storm Lake to around 55 tonight. So a quiet, cool night. It looks like tomorrow we'll see even hotter temperatures. I'll have more details on that in the 9 on 9 forecast. Sophie?
All right, thanks a lot, Marcus. School kids in Whiting, Iowa learned about severe weather safety today. KCAU 9 meteorologist Victor Perez met with more than 50 kids ranging from 3rd to 6th grade while at Whiting Community School for their safety day. They learned all about common springtime severe weather, including thunderstorms, strong wind, hail, and tornadoes. They also learned about the derecho storm that struck last August. The severe windstorm extended more than 700 miles last summer with winds exceeding 100 miles an hour. Cost the state roughly $11 billion in damages. And Adventureland opens up for the season tomorrow, but only for season pass holders. The park will be open from 10 until 5. Masks will not be required, but they can be worn if guests prefer. Adventureland opens up to the general public next Saturday. Before driving off on your next adventure, it's important to make sure your little ones are safe too. The South Sioux City Fire Department is even stepping up to help. Captain Kevin Ott has become a certified child passenger safety technician. He can verify car seats are properly installed. And to see why the service is so important in Dakota County, as well as some proper car seat instructions, you could check out our digital exclusive story posted online right now at SiouxlandProud.com or the KCAU 9 mobile news app. Diabetics are more likely to get severely ill from COVID-19. Experts say that's just another reason why they should get a vaccine. ABC's Ike Joshi explains in this Medical Minute.
COVID-19 has torn across the United States, affecting people from all parts of life. But new research from the CDC states that diabetics may be at a particularly high risk of complications. The CDC statement explained that diabetics infected with the virus are more likely to require hospitalization, be admitted to the ICU, require life support, or even die. When diabetics get sick, their eating and drinking habits change, making blood sugar harder to manage. Even in those who don't require hospital admission, it's important to check blood sugars more often and watch out for signs of diabetic ketoacidosis, a life-threatening condition when the blood sugar goes too high. So what can we do to prevent this? Get vaccinated. While it's important for everyone to get the vaccine as soon as it becomes available, it's especially important for people suffering with diabetes in order to prevent these complications. This includes type 1, type 2, and gestational diabetes. With this Medical Minute, I'm Ike Joshi.
Trips to the grocery store are getting more expensive. Price hikes are on the way for several shopping list staples. Household giants Procter & Gamble, Kimberly-Clark, and Coca-Cola all recently announcing hikes on things like diapers, toilet paper, and even soft drinks. They're placing the blame on increasing costs for raw materials. Consumer prices were up a sharp 0.6% just in the month of March. Well, some gas stations may not have any gas to sell in the near future, but it's not the actual fuel that's in short supply. We'll explain what's happening coming up.
And it's looking like an even warmer day today here throughout Siouxland compared to yesterday. Maybe upper 80s tomorrow and showers possible Sunday. Details on all of that after the break.
You're watching KCAU 9 News with Sophie Erber and meteorologist Marcus Beasley. This is KCAU 9 News at 5.
Thanks for sticking with us. What a beautiful start to the weekend, Marcus. I hope you got outside today. I know I did.
I haven't had the chance yet. I've been in here, but
still a nice night.
Still a very nice night. It's going to be comfortable all throughout Siouxland, throughout the evening hours, overnight tonight. So if you haven't had the chance to get outside today, or maybe it was a little bit too warm for your liking, this evening is going to be perfect. The view outside right now from the KCAU 9 studio brought to you by the Port Neal Welding Company, showing that we're still seeing plenty of sunshine here throughout Siouxland. Some clouds are out there, but we're still seeing a lot lot of sunshine here throughout the area. And it looks like we'll continue to see mostly clear conditions overnight tonight. 79 degrees right now in Sioux City, 81 in Norfolk, 76 in Yankton, as well as Cherokee, 71 degrees right now there in Spencer, 73 in Storm Lake. Carroll currently reporting 75, so pretty much everyone's still somewhere in the 70s throughout Siouxland right now. Wind speeds are light out there. Calm winds currently in Sioux City, 5-mile-per-hour winds in Wayne, calm winds in Norfolk. Yankton with winds at 9 right now, 12-mile-per-hour winds in Cherokee, and 10 in Storm Lake. So not a whole lot of wind, most of us falling somewhere in that 5 to 10-mile-per-hour range. It looks like that will continue tonight as well. Cooler compared to the weekend, and it looks like we'll stay in the mid to upper 60s to around 70 degrees for much of next week. We could see a few showers there on Thursday at a 20% chance, and normally you see geese either walking on the ground, swimming in a pond, or flying in the sky. Rarely do you see them climbing around on a rooftop, but that's what these guys are doing right here. Thank you, Lynette, for sending that picture in of those two geese taking a different path, I guess, to where they're going instead of flying. So very interesting picture. If you have any photos to send our way of what's going on outside, go to SiouxlandProud.com, click on the weather tab, and send us some pictures, upload some pictures to our website, and we'll share them.
It's a great one. I wonder if they were flying and they just got tired and said, this roof looks good.
Yeah, they might have got tired, mate. It's usually warmer up there, direct sunlight,
That's
so
true.
maybe they were looking for a little heat.
Smart. Thanks a lot, Marcus. Well, SpaceX has successfully deployed its latest batch of Starlight satellites into orbit.
Starlink deploy confirmed.
That announcement follows the launch of the latest SpaceX mission from Cape Canaveral in Florida late Wednesday. Video shows the satellites separating from the rockets, second stage, and drifting away. SpaceX has deployed numerous satellites for the company's Starlink internet system. People can get access to that internet in 13 states, and that includes here in Iowa. The Apple ecosystem is a big selling factor for some customers. Now Samsung is unleashing smart laptops designed to work just as seamlessly with Android phones. We'll take a closer look coming up. But first, demand for gas is increasing, but experts warn about a shortage in vacation spots. That's why it's all linked to truck driver shortages. Next. Getting gas this summer for your car expected to be more difficult than it is usually. Some gas stations might be put in a situation where they have no gas at all. Traum Majors explains why it's happening.
There's a new warning from the tanker truck industry. Some stations may run out of gas this summer, and not because of a gas shortage, but instead a trucker shortage.
Last year during the pandemic, many of the drivers retired or they went to different industries, and that created a shortage.
According to the trucking trade group, National Tank Truck Carriers, up to a quarter of all tanker trucks in the country that carry gas are parked right now because they don't have the drivers. So far, it's only affected some gas stations in Las Vegas and Northwest Arkansas. But come this summer, experts say we may see shortages in vacation hotspots.
What we're looking at is the summer. In terms of this happening most likely in spots that are very popular in terms of travel destinations for the summer. So beaches, so mountains.
Jeremy Johnson is a truck driver. He doesn't haul gasoline, but he's seen the problem firsthand.
Through the pandemic, there was a lot of people, a lot of guys that were single owner operators that went out of business because the rates went so low.
Demand for gas is already reaching pre-pandemic levels. In fact, if you look at just the week of April 12th from last year, we saw people taking about 4 billion trips under 25 miles. Compare that to the same week this year, nearly 6 billion trips. But experts say there's no reason to go out and stockpile as much gas as you can.
There is no reason to panic buy, I can tell you that much. Because when this has happened, the few isolated incidents that we've seen, it's happened to a chain or a brand in a market, not the entire market.
Well, good news there. Experts say that with all of that in mind, don't wait until you're almost on empty to fill up the tank. They do recommend filling up when you have about a quarter of a tank of gas left. That way you have some time to go from one station to another if you have to. Well, Samsung taking popular smartphone features and bringing them to a new lineup of laptops. How they stack up for portability and connectivity next. Welcome back. The latest laptops out tonight are from Samsung, and they're taking some inspiration from smartphones with a slim profile and cellular options. Rich DeMuro shows us all the new features.
Apple has done a really nice job of making the iPhone play nice with its laptops. Now Samsung is making their new laptops a compelling companion for their Galaxy smartphones with features that seamlessly link the two. The Galaxy Book Pro and the Pro 360 with a touchscreen that folds back. The laptops run Windows, have speedy 5G and cellular available, and lots of places to plug stuff in, including memory cards.
Samsung is actually pretty smart to kind of, go a little bit above and beyond in terms of normal port selection.
The same charging cable works for laptop and Android phone. Samsung says the battery can last up to 16 hours. The screen's higher quality than your typical laptops.
You're going to get a much richer, much brighter colors on the display than you would from a traditional LCD display.
There are filters to make you look better on video chat and dedicated keys to instantly disable mic and camera. And with 68 million gadgets in their Galaxy Find network, you should be able to locate your lost items with the help of crowdsourcing.
I'm not really entirely sure where the drive is coming from, but there is sort of this race for a lot of the big manufacturers to come out and help people try to locate and find their devices if they get lost.
You have to transfer all your files to an external hard drive, then copy it over to your new computer. Not anymore.
Samsung bringing their Smart Switch software to laptops for easy transfers.
It almost feels like the closest thing you can have to, a really cohesive, ecosystem between your phone and your laptop outside of Apple's Mac iOS kind of, walled garden that they got going on over there.
Taking a live look outside right now in Cherokee, Marcus returns with one more check on your forecast. Stay with us. Join KCAU 9 and Siouxland OBGYN for our 7th annual Stuff the Stroller Drive.
Thanks to KCAU 9's support, we've provided supplies to thousands of Siouxland families.
Drop off your donation of diapers, wipes, and other baby necessities at local Hy-Vee stores.
One last story before you go. More than 30 artifacts that were smuggled from Afghanistan to the United States over the past 20 years have returned home. The National Museum of Afghanistan's director, Mohammad Fahim Rahimi, says the antiques belong to the 2nd and 11th centuries. They were obtained from an art dealer by anti-trafficking police in the U.S. He says more than 10,000 stolen antiques have been returned to the country over the past 2 decades. Some pretty incredible stuff. Yeah. Ancient art just amazes me because they didn't have the tools and technology that we have today.
Right, they had to do everything by hand. It just had a piece of rock there and they just carved it out. Yeah, and it's pretty wild that it's stuck around, you know,
right?
and it's still around.
In good condition.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
I'm sticking around for the temperatures this weekend, although some people might complain tomorrow's too hot.
Tomorrow's going to be a pretty hot day. Today, well, it was already in the 70s earlier today. Tonight, we're going to drop down into the mid-50s. Tomorrow, upper 80s, so summertime heat.
Love it. Thanks, Marcus. Thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend and a good night.